A133 uh circular. This is about auditing subpart A, general 100 purposes. Parts set forth in the standards of pertaining consistency and uniformity among federal agencies. They audit non-federal entities, expanding federal awards. 105 definitions. Auditee means a non-federal entity that expends federal awards, which must be audited under this part. Auditor means an auditor that is public accountant for the federal, state, local government audited organization, which meets the general standards and general accepted government auditing standards, the GEA, GEAS. The terms the auditor does not include internal auditors of nonprofit organizations. Auto finding for the deficiency, which the auditor is required to report the schedule of findings and questions costs. The CFDA number means the number assigned to the federal program in the catalog of the federal domestic assistance. Cluster programs means that the grouping closely related programs shared common compliance requirements of the type of the cluster of the programs are research, development, student aid, financial, other clusters. Other clusters are defined as office management and budget in compliance with the supplement is as designated by the the state for the federal or the state provides subrecipients that meets the definition of cluster program with designation. Other cluster a state shall identify the federal awards included cluster advise the subrecipient compliance with the requirements of applicable to the cluster consistency with section 400 and 400D1 and 400D2 respectively. A cluster of the programs considered as one program determination of the major programs as in shall be considered one program determining the major programs as described in 520 is the exception of the research and development is described in section 200, which in the program specific audit may be elected of this circular. Cognizant agency of this audit means the federal agency designated to carry out the responsibility described in section 400A of this circular. Compliance with the supplement refers to the circular A133 compliance with the supplement, including the appendix B of the to the circular A133, such as documents of office management budget and the designated may be issued to replace the document available for the government printing office superintendent documentations, Washington D.C. 24029325. Corrective action means the action taken by the auditee that corrects identifies deficiency produced recommended improvements demonstrate the audit findings as either individual do not warranty audit action. If a federal agency, the same in the meaning of the term agency in section 551(1) of Title 5 United States Code. Federal award means the federal financing assistance federal cost reimbursement contracts that non-federal entities receive directly from the federal awarding agencies and directly from passing through the entities. It does not include procurement contracts that under the grant and guarantee contracts used to buy the goods, services for the vendors and audited such as the vendors shall be covered by the terms and conditions of the contract. Contractors to operate the federal government and own contractor operated facilities, GACO, GOKUs, as are expected or as excluded from the requirements of this part. The federal awarding agencies mean the federal agency that provided an award directly to the recipient. Federal financing assistance means the assistance of non-federal entities receiving the administrative for the forms of grant, loans, loan guarantees, property, including donated supplies, surplus property, cooperative agreements, interest, subsidized insurance, food, commodities, direct operations, other assistance, and does not include the amounts received as a reimbursement for the services rendered in the individuals as described in 205H and 205I. The federal program means of one, all federal awards of non-federal entities assigned to a single number of the CFDA. When the CFDA is assigned to all federal awards of the same agency may be the same purpose shall be combined and considered one program. Nothing withstanding paragraphs 1 and 2 definitions of cluster programs. The type of the clusters are research, development, student financial aid, and other clusters described in the definition of the cluster of the programs in this section. The government auditing. Government auditing. GAGA. I forget this was right after it came. The GAGAS means generally accepted government auditing standards issued by the Comptroller General of the United States where applicable to financial audits. Generally accepted accountable principles, meaning specified in generally accepted audited standards issued to the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA. Indian tribe means of an Indian tribe, band, nation, or other organized group of the community, including Alaska Native Village and regional village corporations as defined and established under the Alaska Narrative claims and settlements is recognized in the United States and as eligible for the special programs of the service provided by the United States to the Indians because of their status as Indians. Internal control means the process effected by the entity's management, other personnel designated to provide responsible assurance regarding the achievement of the objectives following the categories: effectiveness, efficiency, operations, reliability of financial reporting, and 3, compliance with the applicable laws and regulations. Internal control pertaining to the compliance with the requirements of federal federal programs. Internal control over the federal programs means the process affected by and entities management other personnel is designed to provide the responsible assurance regarding the achievement of the following objectives of the federal program transaction properly recorded, accounted for and to the permit of the preparation of reliable financial statements and federal reports, maintaining accountability over assets and demonstrating the compliance with law, regulations, other compliance requirements. Transactions are executed in compliance with the laws, regulation, provisions of the contract, grants, and agreements that could direct material effect of the federal program, and two, any other law regulations are defined in compliance with the supplement, funding, property, other assets, safeguard against the loss of unauthorized use of disposition. Loan in the meaning of the federal loan guaranteeing received administrated in the non-federal entity. The local government means an any unit that local government within the state includes a county, borough, municipality, city, town, township, parish, local public authority, special district, school district, interstate district, council of governments, and other instrumentally of local government. Major group program means that the federal program determined by the auditor to become a major program in accordance with Section 520 of this circular. When you see the blank, it's the circular. The program identified with the major program federal agency of the pass-through entities in accordance with Section 215 of the circular management decision means of evaluation of the federal awarding agency's pass-through entities, audit findings, and corrective action planning. The issuance of the written decision of the corrective action is necessary. No federal entity within the state. No federal entity means a state, local government, or nonprofit organization. A nonprofit organization means any corporation, trust, association, cooperative, or other organization is operated primarily in scientific, educational services, charitable, and similar purposes in public interest. It's not organized primarily for profit use of that proceeds to maintain, improve, and expand its operations. The term of the nonprofit organization includes nonprofit institution, higher educational, and hospitals. Office Management and Budget, OMB, means the executive office of the President of the Office Management and Budget. Oversight agencies of the audit means the federal awarding agency that provides predominant amount of the direct funding of the recipient, not assigned to the cognizant agency of the audit, and whether no direct funding of the federal agency, the predominant indirect funding shall assume for the oversight of responsibilities, duties of the oversight agents for the audit is described in Section 400B of this circular. Effective July 28, 2003, the following is added to the definition of federal agency: oversight of the auditee may reassign oversight to another federal agency with provides substantial funding and agrees to the oversight of the agency for the audit. Within 30 days after the reassignment of the old and new oversight agencies, the audit shall notify the auditee and known for the auditor reassignment. Passing through the entity means a non-federal entity that provides a federal award to the sub-recipient to carry out the federal program. Program-specific audit means an audit for the one federal program that is provided in Section 200C and 235. Question means that the cost as questioned to the auditor means the audited finding. The questionable question cost is either one which resulted in violation, possible violation provisions of the law, regulation, contract, grant, cooperative agreement, and other agreement, or document governing the federal funds, including the funds used to match for federal funds, where the costs at the time of the audit are not supportive of the adequate documentation, whether the costs incurred or the unreasonable do not reflect the actions of the prudent person who taken in the circumstances. Recipient, the means of non-federal entity, the expense of federal awards received directly for the federal awarding agency to carry out the federal program. Research development means of all research activities within both basic, applied, and all development activities that are performed in non-federal entities. Research is defined as systematic study directed towards the scientific knowledge, understanding the subject studied, and the term of the research includes the involving the training individuals in research techniques where activities utilize the same facilities as other research development activities, and whether such activities are not included, the function and development is in systematically use of knowledge of the understanding gaining the research directed toward the production of the useful materials, devices, systems, and methods, including design, development, and prototype and processes. Single audit means an audit includes both the entity's financial statements and the federal award as described in Section 500. The state means that any state of the United States, District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Guam, American Samoa, and Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, and the Trust Territory of Pacific Islands, instrumental thereof, any multiple state, regional, interstate entity which is governmental functions, the Indian tribe as defined in this section. Student financial aid. The SFA Those programs are generally student assistance, such as the authorized title of the Board of the Higher Educational Act of 1965, as amended in Title 20 of the U.S. Standard Code 1070, attendance weekend sequence administrated in the U.S. Department of Education. Similar programs provided by the federal agencies does not include the program with provided the fellowship or similar to the federal awards to the student to the competitive basis for specified studies and research. Subrecipient means a non-federal entity that expends the federal awards received the pass through the entity to carry out the federal program, but does not include the individual that is a beneficiary of such a program. Subrecipients may also be a recipient of the federal awards directed from the federal awarding agency. Guidance of the distinguishing between the subrecipient and the vendor is provided in Section 210 of this circular. Type of the compliance refers to the type of the compliance requirements listed in the compliance statement. This includes the activities allowed and unallowed, allowable costs and cost principles, cash management, eligibility, matching level of effort, and earmarking reporting. The vendor meeting a dealer, distributor, merchant, and other sellers providing the goods, service, and required of the conduct of the federal program. These goods and services may be under the organization own use of beneficiary federal programs. And additional guidance of the distinguishing between subrecipients and the vendor is provided in Section 210. The subpart B audits on audit requirements, Section 200.